One of the user is able to see the legal entity field in GL journal entry screen, and another user is not able to see the legal entity field in the GL journal entry screen, and both of them have the access to the same general accountant role. Now in this video I'll explain you how we troubleshooted this issue. This is Arvind Varganti and you are watching Oracle EBS and Fusion channel. So there are two users, user A and user B. User A is able to see the legal entity field, but whereas user B is not able to see the legal entity field in the journal entry screen. And then we asked, say, user B in this example, if he has any other role other than the general accountant. He said no. And we checked with user A also. Even user A mentioned that he has only one role. And then asked user A as to what exactly is the ledger he's using. He said that he is using US primary ledger. And then we asked user B as to what ledger he's using. He mentioned he's using corporate primary ledger. It's a different ledger. So then we asked user A to share his screen and then show us the legal entity field what he was able to see. So pretend FAS07 student, this is the legal user A. So let me go to the journal. Oops. Sorry. Oops. Yeah. So let me go to journals, create journals. And so this is what he was saying. User A was saying that he was able to see legal entity field here. And he mentioned, the user A mentioned that he was using US primary ledger. Now user B is using corporate primary ledger. So now let me change the data access set to corporate primary ledger. So we were just checking if it has got to do with the user or it is related to the ledger. And when I logged in as a corporate primary ledger, see here I am not able to see the legal entity. So this has given us a clue that it has got something to do with the ledger setup. So it has got nothing to do with the user. So there is some difference in US primary ledger and corporate primary ledger setup. Some kind of a option probably it's enabled for US primary ledger and which is not enabled for corporate primary ledger. So that could be the reason why under corporate primary ledger I was not able to see the legal entity. Okay, now I'll show you what exactly is that particular option which we were able to identify, which led to this particular issue. I mean, rather it's not an issue, just an it's just how the system behaves, but user were not sure as to why this is kind of happening, and then that's how they raised a ticket with us. Okay, now let me go to the setup and maintenance and show you that particular option which was enabled for primary US primary ledger, which enabled the system to show that legal entity field. So now under financials, go to general ledger. So here search for specify ledger options. So specify ledger options and go for first US primary ledger. So within the primary ledger, there is something called sequencing. So here you can see the sequencing is enabled at the legal entity level. But whereas for the corporate ledger, the sequencing is no sequencing. If you set the sequencing as no sequencing or probably by ledger, the legal entity field will not be enabled or legal entity field itself will not be visible. But whereas if you enable the sequencing at a legal entity level, so obviously you're saying the sequencing at a legal entity level. So that means in every transaction, whether it's a GL general transaction or maybe subledger related transactions, you need to specify the legal entity. So this is for US primary ledger. Here you can see it, sequencing is by legal entity. Now let me search for the other ledger, corporate primary ledger. Select and add. So select corporate primary ledger. Yeah, corporate primary ledger, save and close. So now check here. See, it says no sequencing. So that's the reason why the legal entity field was not available. Now, just for argument's sake, let me change this to legal entity. Save and close. So now even for corporate primary ledger as well, now when I get into the corporate primary ledger, I should be able to see the legal entity field. Go here. Okay, yeah, it's already corporate primary ledger. Create journal. See here. Okay, so here, I mean, probably this being a testing environment, probably there are no legal entities under this corporate primary ledger. But anyways, you can see that legal entity field here. And once you click on top down, if there are any legal entities which are defined, that should start appearing here. So this is how we were able to troubleshoot this issue. Before we wrap up, a quick reminder. Have you seen my surprise giveaway video? If not, please check the description section for the link to participate in the giveaway. Simply like, share and comment on that video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for your support and good luck. Thank you.